What's up, guys? I'm That History Teacher 76, and today I'm going to talk about key events leading to the American Civil War while eating Bulldog spicy noodles. Got a bowl of it right here, and I did not skimp on the spice. First off, when we talk about events leading to the American Civil War, we got to keep two things in mind. One, when it comes to war, it's generally not something that people want.
Yikes!
It takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of resources. And so to actually come to a war is a big deal, especially when that war is against your own country, right? The Civil War was the North, the Union, versus the South, the Confederacy. And we're going to talk about key reasons that led to that war. Another thing we should keep in mind while watching this video is I don't really do well with spicy stuff. I like spicy food, but I usually get like medium spice. Like Tapatio is good. Don't get me wrong, I like Tapatio, but I don't like douse my food in Tapatio, okay? So I'm actually very nervous too. I've never had this before, and while I was making it, I breathed it in and it got in my throat and it kind of hurt. So I'm gonna take my first bite and we're just gonna see how this goes, okay? I'm like actually nervous about this. I'm hungry because I was like, I'm gonna be hungry for this event. But I'm really nervous about how this is gonna go. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. This was a mistake. This was a mistake. Oh my gosh. The goal is I have to finish this bowl while talking about these events. That was just a small bite. Oh gosh. Okay, the first event we're going to talk about happened in 1787. This was the 3/5 compromise. First off, when we talk about a compromise, you already know it's not a good deal, right? We're going to talk about a lot of compromises. Oh, I'm already crying. We're going to talk about a lot of compromises leading to the American Civil War. And if you're making too many compromises in a relationship, there's one word you need to say. Next! And so for the 3/5 compromise, what happens, and this happens in 1787. This is like the beginning of our country's history. Northerners, many people are against slavery to begin with in the North. And Southerners, they want more votes when it comes to the House of Representatives and things like that. And many of them are realizing how much population they have of people in their states. However, most of that population is enslaved. And so they make a compromise where 3 out of 5 enslaved people will count towards the vote, right? This is not a good bargain in the long run. And again, it's a dehumanizing practice, one of the first events that's like snowballing to the American Civil War. One of the next events, hang on, I gotta have another bite. No, I'm not eating that part. I'm not eating that, it fell. Oh, this is a big bite. Oh no. Oh. Oh gosh. It was spicy while I was eating it. Oh, like I was eating the noodle and more spice came. Oh. This next event is pretty crazy to me. It's the creation of the cotton gin in 1793. An inventor called Eli Whitney made the cotton gin. My gums burn. He made the cotton gin, and it would get the seeds out of cotton. This skyrocketed the amount of slaves brought into the country. I have to get milk. This video is brought to you by Trader Joe's organic milk. I haven't had a cup of milk by itself in years.
Yummy!
where was I? The cotton gin led to a huge increase in slavery. And it made cotton king in the South. The cotton production became one of the biggest things to leave the Southern economy, adding to this terrible practice. In 1808, Thomas Jefferson tried to address the issue of slavery, and he banned slavery in 1808. It's called the importation ban. Oh, gosh. You can no longer import enslaved people into America. Oh, gosh, I need tissue. I'm not ready for this. And so, but what happens is a different form of slavery called chattel slavery. So slavery still continues in America. You just can't bring enslaved people to the country anymore. Again, for people who are anti-slavery, abolitionists, this is going to be a growing issue. Okay. I'm not even really summarizing these events that well. I'm just surviving. Just surviving. Okay, this one's a little bit better. I'm not even like close to done either. In 1820, the state of Missouri. In 1820, the state of Missouri is added to the country, and they make a compromise, the Missouri Compromise. They draw a line at the bottom, the southern part, bottom part of Missouri, west across the country. Because they're assumed they're going to get all this land because of manifest destiny and that whole concept of westward expansion. And so they say everything south of the line will be a slave state. Everything north of the line will be a free state. It's at the 3630 parallel. Spoiler alert, if you've seen the map of America and you've seen Missouri today, there's going to be more free states to the north, which is good because it's going to end slavery. But the South is not going to like that.
Oh,
so
my.
In the 1850s and the 60s, when these states start getting added to the Union, the South is going to get really upset because they're going to be like, wait a minute. That's what all the South is going to say. Wait a minute. My bones are going to be so strong. 1831, Nat Turner, an enslaved man. He gets known as a prophet, and he arms other slaves, and they actually start going on a rebellion. They start attacking any Caucasian, white citizens that they see, killing them. This is one of the first major acts of violence leading into the Civil War. Oh my gosh. One of the first major acts. And it actually really makes laws much, much worse for enslaved people. They were already bad. They were already dehumanizing. But this makes them even worse because now it's like seen as a added violence, right? I need more milk. I've never had this much milk in my life. Either the spicy noodle's gonna get me or too much milk. My mouth is just burning. I'm too weak. I finished the whole milk. In 1832, we see the growing resentment in this country when Northerners try to put a tariff on Southerners. Tariffs are usually put on foreign countries, and so the South sees this as, a violation of their rights, and they threaten to secede or leave the country. Andrew Jackson's the president at this time, and Andrew Jackson's a very, very Southern president, right? Excuse me. He's like a representative of the common man. And he says, I will send in federal troops if you try to leave this country, right? This is probably one of his better moments that most people could agree with, right? Where he's just keeping the Union and the country together. But it shows us that the country, like the South, is just ready to go. You're going to put more taxes on me? I'm out of here, right? They're threatening. They already got one foot out the door. They're making too many compromises, and the South is saying, next. And Jackson says, you're not going anywhere. This was the worst idea. There's no way. There's no way I can finish this bowl. I got to be honest. I have to finish this bowl. I looked at myself. The videos. I didn't see myself. I saw myself in my mind's eye, in my soul. We're out of milk. The water doesn't help. Coffee creamer? I don't know. This is a big bite. This is awful. If you gotta wipe my nose. This part of the tissues for my sauce. This part is for my nose. Don't let them mix. This sauce in my nose, I would die. If you just say, "Oh, I eat this. I like the noodles. I eat this for fun. It's not even that spicy." I don't even leave.
Go
away. I don't know if you can hear this. There's a police siren for an emergency. It's coming to get you. Okay, 1837. Elijah P. Lovejoy is an abolitionist. He is a priest, a parishman. I forget. He's a priest, parishman, major religious figure. He writes in a newspaper about anti-slavery, things like that. Angry mob of Southerners marches to his house, kills him, throws his typewriter in the river. Now we see an act of violence on the other side, right? Where it's directed, they find someone and they attack and kill him. 1846, Wilmot Proviso. A bunch of land is gained after the Mexican-American War. This guy, Wilmot, says they should be made free states. It's vetoed. Vetoed. It doesn't get approved. Gosh. I can't even get through all the events right now because I'm dying. Uncle Tom's Cabin in 1852 was written. Harriet Beecher Stowe. One of the best-selling books in America at this time. It portrays, it's a fiction, but it tells the story of an enslaved man and things that he has to face. Many Southerners said it was fake. Many Northerners actually read it and saw, like, wow, this is how bad this is. And it adds to the abolitionist cause. Okay, I'm going to have another bite. I'm going to speed through the next three. I'm going to power speed these ones. Oh my gosh. If I have sauce on my eyes, on my fingers, I just murdered my eyes. I'm almost out of milk. I might be able to do this. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. For the horde. 1854. Kansas and Nebraska are going to they're going to come to become, Kansas and Nebraska are going to become states in America. States. Instead of following the Missouri Compromise, I don't remember right now. Instead of following that, these states are going to become freer slave states based on popular sovereignty. What does that mean? That means they're going to vote. That means they're going to vote if they're going to be a freer slave state. Oh yeah, we'll vote. Very cool, very cool. Not cool. Bleeding Kansas happens in 1854. It actually becomes violent. Pro-slavery, anti-slavery, go to this state. They actually start attacking each other. There's riots, there's violence, there's killing, there's death, there's fire. And it's called Bleeding Kansas. John Brown is a key figure in this. John Brown, a hero to some, a villain to others. Anti-slavery. He starts many of these riots. He's involved in most of the riots. He's involved in a lot of this stuff. And then later, a few years later, my lips burn. A few years later, he goes to Harper's Ferry and gets like a weapon cache. And General Lee, whoa, name drop, actually goes and stops him. He's hanged. 1856, in the Senate, in the American Senate, Charles Sumner is almost caned to death by Preston Brooks. Charles Sumner is anti-slavery. He's a Northerner, almost caned to death by Preston Brooks because Charles Sumner was talking trash in the House of Representatives or in the Senate. The Senate, no more milk.
No.
He said one of them, said one senator looked like an unmentionable animal. The other one said he was dating harlots. And then the guy who hit him, I don't remember, the guy who hit him with the cane, it was the family member of the one who said he was dating harlots. And he almost beat him to death with the cane. The cane broke. Snap. And what do Southerners do? They send them more canes. They send them hundreds of canes. Some of them that said, what did it say? Some of the canes that's written on it says like, do it again. Something like that. Hit him again. Something. I don't know. I'm going to be right back. I think we got a second milk. I don't feel good. My stomach. I got noodle on my cord. You know what? I'm going to do this. Two more. Dred Scott. Case ended in 1857. Ended in 1857. Dred Scott was a slave. He went to other states. He went to free states with the person who had owned him. Because that guy was a wartime doctor, a military doctor. When he passed away, Dred Scott made the claim that he's a free man because he lived on free soil. The Supreme Court took a pretty take on this one, major L, and they said that they couldn't even see the case because they declared that he was not even an American citizen. This is going to be a big deal, and that's why the amendments that come after the Civil War are so important, because this Supreme Court case took it away from people like Dred Scott. Okay, last one. And then my closing monologue, which will just be me crying. I don't need the milk. I am strong. This is a big bite. Do this for the Alliance. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln is elected into presidency. The South was saying that this would ruin their way of life. Although Abraham Lincoln hadn't said anything about ending slavery, the South knew what was coming. And so they officially left the country. Abraham Lincoln had gotten thousands of assassination letters and threats, things like that. He actually had to sneak into Washington, D.C. in a costume on a train. There's pictures of it. That happened in 1860. Whew. All right. I missed a lot of events, but that's okay. One last bite. I almost finished it. I'm proud of myself, and you should be too. This is all I got left in me. The Civil War was a very important time in our country's history because it was a series of the bloodiest battles in American history, on American soil, United States American history. But the period that comes after it, Reconstruction, is equally as important. And unfortunately, with the assassination of Lincoln by John Wilkes Booth, a lot of the issues don't go away. The South continues to be problematic in many ways. Problematic's a nice word for it. And it takes until about another 100 years for the work of people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, many others, to fix many of the issues in the South. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see another challenge, comment below.